Bert Oliva's Mastermind Circle.
Welcome back to another Mastermind session. I'm really excited. I'm excited to tell you, you know why I'm excited? I always say this every week. It's because this week we not only have one, but we have two powerful people we're going to interview at the same time. But before we get into that, for those of you that are new, I want to welcome you to Mastermind. And for those, all of our members, I want to welcome you back. And like always, what I'm going to do is show you exactly what we're all about, and then we'll get started. Again, my name is Bert Oliva. And by the way, this is an interactive webinar. So I'm going to ask you every now and then to raise your hands to make sure you guys are paying attention, you're focused with me. In fact, there's a button on the bottom that says raise your hand. So let's try right now. Everyone that's paying attention and focused, raise your hand, get involved. Let me see you raise your hand. Good. Now, the next thing I want to do is if you have any questions, when we get to the end of the interview, please feel free to contact Valerie, which is the one that's running the whole production, the executive producer, and make sure that you ask her that you want to ask a question and you tell her whether you want to go live or you want to be anonymous or you just want to go ahead and talk so we don't have to turn on the camera on you. But we really want you to participate, get involved. The more you put in everything in life, the more you get out. So before we get started, let me go ahead and show you exactly what Mastermind is all about. And for the members, to get ready for your core values.
Bert Oliva is an international orator. He speaks around the world about his experiences and teaches humanology, the scientific study of human potential. He has enchanted audiences all over the world, showing them the power of mind over matter.
He's one of the most talented speakers out here, and I highly recommend him to any type of
The more prepared you are, the luckier you'll be.
He is the world-renowned authority on leadership and human behavior.
Mr. Bert Oliva.
Bert Oliva!
He's considered the voice of inspiration and motivation. Today, he'll pass his knowledge on to all of us.
For over 2 decades, Bert Oliva has touched the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. Bert has a dedicated social media following and an impressive online influence few possess, enabling him to communicate with audiences he has touched near and far.
I think he's one of the greatest motivators out there.
The thing I love about Bert is he's on stage and he gives his heart every single time.
He has developed many programs, recorded audio CDs, and written books, all of which to help those ranging from individuals to corporate and Fortune 500 companies. He has dedicated his life to speaking all over the globe and met some of the most influential and powerful people in the world.
Okay, let's go.
He has also coached highly successful business executives and politicians.
Normally seen as impossible.
I believed it and I did it.
An infectious motivator.
So get ready to learn tools that will help you tap into your potential.
Pay attention, this is real stuff.
Get ready to have an experience you won't soon forget. Please help me welcome Bert Oliva.
The ladies that I'm going to bring up today are two amazing women, and I met them about 2 years ago. Valerie, can you bring them up already? And they have an organization called the Wellness Universe. And when I met them 2 years ago, it was amazing. The synergy, the power, the energy, I mean, the way they work together is just phenomenal. And I've been dying to interview them and find out more about this whole thing that they're doing and find out how long they've been doing. I want to know everything. However, because of our schedules back and forth, we weren't able to do it. So this year I got to see them again on another cruise that we did. And I said, I'm going to lock you guys in. So Alexa, my wife, made it a point to make sure that we get them in. And even though that a lot of people will not be able to watch this live because, you know, the holidays are here and people are traveling, but we will be editing this and having the full version of this entire interview. So if you miss anything, you got to keep an eye out. So that way you guys can see it live. Again, guys, how are you?
Hello, Bert.
Hello, Bert. All is great. How you doing?
Good, good. Look at that smile. Okay, now this is the thing. We have about 45 minutes, and usually what I do is I'll go ahead if I have a person that I'm interviewing, and we'll go all way back to when they were children and how did you get into the process. However, I don't want to go that far back because I have both of you, and I know each one of you have a different story. And what I want to do is eventually, and I'm putting you on the spot, is interview each one of you alone for that part of the story. But what I want to do is I want to know about, how did you guys meet? Let's fast forward a little bit and go to the point of where you guys met and how you knew that, because what I want to get, some of the messages I want to get out of here today is about how important it is to make sure when you find good partners, how important it is when you know that you're doing something because you love it, not because you have to do it. And that's when I see, when I see you guys, I see great partnership and friendship, great friendship. And I see everything about the wellness universe since the day I met you guys has all been about heart and getting involved. So, I don't know who to start with, but one of you I know is going to take the lead, and then the other one's going to go and get involved. I know how it is. So whoever wants to start. Let me know.
I'll start since the story starts with me. But I want to thank you, Bert, for inviting us on to your mastermind. We are really, really honored, and we're big fans of yours and the whole crew, the whole Make It Happen crew. Really adore you guys. So. It all started where I met Shari is through Facebook. She had an inspirational page. I had an inspirational page, and we networked with each other, so to speak, where you share each other's posts. You get to know somebody through that because I gave inspiration, she gave inspiration, and we just kind of gravitated towards each other.
Now, right there, see, that's something I want to talk about real quick. A lot of people are in Facebook, and we're talking about how many years ago, though? We're not talking about last year or anything like that, right?
No, this was 2011. I started my page, so it had to be like 2011, 2012.
Yeah, and in our industry, there's so many people doing it today. I mean, when I started this business over 22 years ago, there was only like a handful of us that were doing it. Now, and the reason it wasn't really a handful, it was just that there was no internet. So unless you were in corporate America, you knew where to find the speakers. For the most part, people didn't know about that. So now people have this thing that they're all competing with each other. So what I found amazing right now is the beginning of your story is how you found someone else or you found each other and you guys are both doing similar things and you're empowering each other. And instead of saying, oh, look, that's just my competition or her hair's too long or her hair's too short. No, let's see if we can, work together, collaborate. And that's really important because the opportunities are there and people are not doing enough of that. They're so concerned about their ego and not really doing what it is that we're all doing, which is trying to make this world a better place. So how did you were able to find someone doing more or less the same thing and it didn't really bother you? I mean, who reached out? What was the next step?
Well, I guess Anna actually reached out. Hello, Bert. First of all, I want to say hi to you and say you're looking clean shaven.
Yeah, don't get used to it.
Everything's coming to you and everyone. You're welcome. Yeah. So Anna reached out to me. I have like a terrible memory. I just know that there was this woman that through in the internet, you can never really tell how somebody is. I went with my intuition, and she just seemed like this really like warm-hearted, natured, good person. I was completely wrong. No, and she just approached me, and we just kind of ran in the same circle. And honestly, I had been through quite a bit in my own life where I realized that I had already come to the conclusion about the competitive thing, and we each are here to do our own thing, and we each do it in our own great way. And so to be able to honestly just have someone that you can talk to and just be encouraged by and learn from, I was open to it immediately. So when she approached me, it was just more of a kind of like a friendly thing, and we all just ran in the same circle and just kind of chatted here and there.
So then when you guys started, you started sharing each other's posts? Is that the way it all started?
Yes, I'll let you go in because you probably remember more of the beginning than I do.
That's what happened to me. I have a couple of drinks. No, I'm like well, essentially, since you asked like how we began our relationship together, because honestly, I feel like I've known Shari like my whole life. And I think when you approach somebody with an open heart and when you approach a relationship, and I guess maybe also sometimes people kick themselves because they get their heart broken by using the same approach. But this is kind of how Shari and I lead our lives. We have an open heart and we approach life and approach people with an open heart and an open mind, and we embrace them. And I think that since we found each other and we were both that type of person, it was easy to kind of come together to do the Wellness Universe project. But yeah, we just basically were sharing each other's posts on Facebook and then just started having a little bit of regular conversation and building a friendship from there. But we had never met each other in person. It was strictly Facebook. And as you mentioned, Bert, back in the day, it was a little bit easier to build those relationships. But in the Facebook world, when we all had pages starting out, and now there's a lot of pages and people doing inspirational stuff, you know, and you know, it is what it is. It's difficult nowadays. But when Shari and I met, it was through the sharing of posts, and then we became friends after that. But only until we joined into business together do we really connect and met in person, because we're living on two coasts and everything. So yeah.
So how did it turn into a business? Like, you know, where you guys started posting each other's stuff back and forth, and what happened? When was that mastermind, that click, where you guys knew that maybe we could do something bigger if we merged in some sort of way?
Well, that was Anna's brainchild, really. I was just going to say right before that, you know, we weren't even like deep in a friendship. It was more of just like she said, like, you know, exchanging and like little niceties and, you know, things. And a lot of people were contacting each other, but I have this personal thing. I'm open to everybody, but I feel certain intuition with people, like I said. So I always just continued talking to her, speaking to her, when she wrote me and stuff like that. But then this kind of got smacked out of the blue out of me, because we had never had a true like getting to know you type thing. Anna's intuition kicked in. She was really smart, obviously, and had good taste and approach. And so I'll let you, because this was your idea to start with, Anna.
Yeah, well, I mean, essentially you're completely on the right track. It was basically on intuition, because there was a big pool of people, and I just kind of like, you know, glanced over who I knew and what they were involved in, see who had, you know, commitments, and because I knew what we were embarking on really required a huge commitment, and who was really hungry to be successful, and who was really, you know, who would really tie themselves to the cause. Because like you said before, Bert, it's not about competition, it's about co-creation, collaboration, and we all have to come together, because this is how really the world is going to heal and how we're going to get to world peace. And people have to really get that it's not about competition. So I would look around and I would see who really seemed to come across as genuine and with integrity. And my intuition kicked in, and I approached Shari, and I actually did approach a couple other people too, who have not stuck through the full, you know, because it always happens with a team, right? But
well, it's not that. It's just what we do for a living. And I say we because we're all in the same thing. It's the people don't understand. This is not temporary. This is for the rest of your life. Whether you're having a good day or a bad month or a bad year, if you're setting yourself up to do life-changing experiences, or to be a life coach, or to be a business coach, or whatever type of coach, or just be able to be in the self-help business, is something that you have to dedicate your life forever. And it's not something that's just a fad and it's going to come and go. And that's usually what happens with a lot of these people. They're not bad people. It's just that it looks easier on the outside than it is on the inside. There's a lot of work to keep this stuff alive. I mean, I was impressed with how much response we received from the wellness universe just by putting up a video, you know, putting you guys up and saying that you guys were going to be in the interview. And like, we got feedback like crazy. So the actual organization that you have has grown extremely strong. So back then, was it already the wellness universe, or was it something else first?
Shari.
Okay. We're never usually this polite with each other. We usually talk over.
Don't be polite. Be real, man.
Like awesome. I'm like,
wait. Let me get you in the zone. Hey, Shari, you're hot.
That's too.
I had a feeling
that we had on the cruise. Every time I would see her, I would say, "Hey, Shari, you're hot." She goes, you know, she would try different things. But that's what it's all about. What you see there is what you get here. And that's what I want people to be more involved with when they get involved into this thing. You know, be who you are. Don't try to please the world, because you're never going to please them. Right. So back again to where we were at. Was it the wellness universe right off the bat, or was it something else?
Not at all. So basically, Anna came to me, and I was just at this point in my life. As Anna said, like I was speaking. I was trying to build my speaking career, which mainly consisted of on Facebook, and then like doing some places here and there live. And so I had gotten to the point personally where I was like, felt like I kept running into walls, you know, and nothing was working out. And so literally a week before she approached me, I had just said, all right, I'm giving up like how this has to show up. Like I was tired, you know? And so I just decided to release all expectations. And I literally did. I was like, all right, this is what I want to do with my heart. I want to change the world and I want to help people. And so about a week later, like literally that week, I was just like, all right, I'm not trying anymore. I'm just going to be, and I'm going to like follow my heart. And I get this email from Anna saying, I want to talk to you about something pretty much important. And I'm like, okay. And so we had scheduled this Skype session for the first time, like she said. And she came up with this idea that was basically in the circle that we were running, and everyone was having these challenges with Facebook and the algorithms, and everybody's doing all this great inspirational work, but no one's being seen, you know, because of they want people to buy advertising, however it works, right? Let's be real. So she said, I want to create our own platform where none of that matters and where people who basically are changing the world can be found. And all I'm hearing in my head for real is just like technology and computers. But for whatever reason, because I had just given up how it's supposed to show up, I just said, okay, not really realizing what I was truly getting into, except the fact that the mission at the end of the day was the same, which is to help people. And so I let go of that and I said yes, and the name was completely different. I don't know if Anna wants to talk about the name, but it was just the idea. Nothing was built. There was no community. It was just this idea of this is what I want to do. And so
it all started on Facebook. It just started like a Facebook group before Facebook had the group thing. So it's basically you guys were just figuring it out. But then now it's like a big organization. It's like it has its own website, its own platform. I mean, it started evolving. So this is 2011. So it's taking you a while. I mean, people think it happened overnight. It's taking a while. So
well, yeah, definitely. I mean,
this was 2013. This was 2013. I came up with the vision, and we began the process in 2014 at the very beginning, like January 1st or 2nd, literally. So,
okay. So when I met you guys, it was like a year in.
Right. But in 2014, we hadn't built the platform yet. We were just like gathering the community of the people who wanted to be part of this in a Facebook group. And so we didn't actually release the first website, which was a Facebook directory, until the end of 2014.
Wow.
So it was really
actually beginning of 2015.
Oh, 2015.
Oh,
okay.
Right. The group started to gather people and to get them into the website in August, September of 2014, and then the site went live January of 2015. So it was a gathering of the community. So it was like to prove our concept, right? That this space was needed. So yeah, that's I think that's how it worked.
Yeah, and now it's the end of 2016, and in a few weeks, hopefully, we're about to release the third version of the platform. And
when you say the platform, elaborate more on the platform. What does that mean?
Well, currently, if you go onto thewellnessuniverse.com, you'll see that it's a directory, and every single member basically is categorized into one of the 7 areas of wellness, which we've categorized as emotional, environmental, intellectual, occupational, physical, spiritual, and social. And basically anyone who's using their life to better the world in some way, we want a spot for them to be found easily because we know the world needs it. So currently it's just a directory, which means you go on there and you find out and you read about the person, and then you link to their social media sites. And then of course we have our blog and our webinar platform and all of that. But when I say the next version, it's completely interactive, which means each member has their own little mini website on there. So it is a full interactive platform. So people—
Will that conflict with their current website, if they had a current website of some sort?
Conflict? No, it'll enhance, because because we actually believe that it's much harder when you're a solo person out there to be found. But if you're found like in a shopping mall, you go into the mall to go to, to the Nike store, and you end up like, oh, there's Adidas and there's all these other things, So it's actually much easier to be found on an umbrella with other wellness, businesses and people and all that. So
what are some of the challenges that you guys have had in order to get to where you are today in this process of 3 years nonstop? What are some of the challenges?
Well, some of the challenges are finding the right people who are the right fit for the project to help really support it. And I want to really shout out our team. Our team has been with us since a few of them from the very beginning, since they got invested in us with their blood, sweat, and tears. And some have come on through the months, but very few have come on and been released from the team. Our team is our core, they're our heart, they're our blood. And so getting the right people to do the tasks behind the scenes. Bert, as you know, like your team is family, man. Like I'm so impressed with your team.
Thank you.
They're awesome, and they handle it like it's their business, like it's their baby. And that's finding those people was one of the challenges. Making sure that we always have content for the site. And something else that we're proud of is that we've posted a blog every single day since we went live. That's a challenge to find quality, but now that it's easier because now that we have, but in the beginning, getting people to believe in us, getting people to share us, it was almost like people rallied around in the beginning, and then like it kind of like lost a little bit of momentum, and then we gained momentum again, and then we lost momentum again. But the challenges are, this is self-funded, and we operate strictly like PBS, like public broadcasting station, and we are member supported. And that's part of adding. Now we know that this was going to be a real painful for us going through this, because we don't compromise, we don't sacrifice integrity, because we do not take on outside advertisers, we do not allow third-party ads. Now look, Bert, I mean, you know the game. A lot of people set up blogs and set up content sites just for advertising to rotate through the site, and people are making 4, 5, 6 figures a month through those content sites just because of advertising. Meanwhile, we're setting the stage for the people to have a new platform, so we can't muddy the waters with that. So funding has been one of the challenges, because being self-funded, it's difficult. And we are member supported, so we have memberships, but they're so affordable. And for the costs of
what are the prices? You're saying affordable. What are the prices?
Well, it's about $20 a month to be a member, and essentially it's free. Actually, it's free, but the upgraded members with added benefits. And honestly, if you're somebody who has a public face, if you want more impact, if you want to be seen as an expert, and people look you up, you want to have a nice, robust profile on the wellness universe, it's going to cost you like $20 a month, something like this. It's ridiculous. It's not like we charge hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And the amount of promotion you get for that is ridiculous. I mean,
$20 a month is less than a cup of coffee a day.
I know. As she's saying it, I'm like, damn, we got to raise our prices. I was going to say one of the challenges is the amount of work. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean like when you have a vision and it's heart-centered, like, I'm like pie in the sky, like we're going to do this and we're doing that. And then when you see the amount of like the details that you actually have to put into to get there, it's been a big learning lesson and challenge for me, because, like when Anna met me and first she always makes fun of me because the first thing she was like, what do you want to do? And I said, have my own show like Oprah. And she's like, but you got to get from here to here. And so like my mind was always like, oh, the wellness universe, we're going to change the world not instantly, but like you have to show up every day, no matter, as you said, like no matter how hard it is, and no matter like when you believe in your vision, you have to keep doing it in the most challenging of times. And there's a lot of challenges, but you just keep showing up, and we have to show up for our team. We have to show up for our community, and there's days when you don't want to. I mean, like when you don't physically feel it,
of course,
show up. Get your butt up out of bed. And
people understand. They think you're not human.
Right.
And that's one of the things I like about your posts, Shari, your video posts, is that when you come out with your messages, is what you're feeling at that moment. We've talked about this on the show. I mean, if you're having a shitty day, you will a shitty vlog, letting people know. And that's what's important, because a lot of people right now, all these motivational gurus, they act a certain way, and then they don't have a bad day. No, that's not what people want. As this keeps evolving, the people that are going to make it to the top are the people that are as real as they can be in front of everyone all the time. Not for a certain moment, not because, they're going to get certain views. You don't do your vlogs for the views. You get them because you're doing a good job, but you're not doing it for that. And that's one of the things and I told you this when we were one-on-one, and I'm telling you again, I mean, I really like your vlogs. And, because they're sincere, and we need more of that. And, let's say for example, someone wants to be in the wellness universe and they don't really fit in. They can just buy themselves their way in, and then, pay their $20 a month or whatever. Is there some sort of quality control to make sure that it stays a certain way?
Yes, that's what Anna was talking about when she says, integrity as well, is that as much as we want to grow this to multi-millions, not everybody will fit in as a Wellness Universe member. And I hate when I say like fit in or our guidelines or our standards, because it sounds like we're better than, but it's not. We want to provide for the world a resource that people can count on. And so in order to be able to do that and provide the best, you have to be able to put people through, they have to follow certain guidelines. And that's number one. Anna always says, we can't show up at your house and go through your drawers and sit down and like find out really in that way who you are. So there's only so much we can do. And one of those things is just looking at your online presence, seeing how you present your content, who you are, what you say. Is your stuff all just other people's content, or are you creating your own?
Right.
Because there's a lot of people just putting other people's stuff up there, and it's like, you're just a replication of somebody else. I want to know who you are. So we go through the applications, and I go to.
I've seen that changing a little bit more. It used to be like there was a lot of Tony Robbins every time I would bump into people. But as the internet has opened up, now people are a little less forgiving. They kind of now notice if you're doing somebody else's program, because things has evolved. The internet has done both good and bad, and in our business actually gotten better, because now it's starting to clean itself out, but this is definitely a need for what you guys are doing. In this business, it's not as easy as people think. They think they do one seminar, they go to a BNI, they go to a Toastmaster, and then they're done. No, that's just the beginning. And that's, what are the benefits? Me being a speaker, and I'm doing it because we have a lot of people on right now watching, and I want to know that, a lot of them are probably life coaches and speakers themselves. What other benefits is for me to get involved with the Wellness Universe?
Can I take that one?
Yes.
Well, first of all, since we do vet the community, and it's almost like you're groomed from the beginning, this is a collaborative community, no competition, high integrity. People who come in, this is the messaging they receive from the jump. It's like, no joke. We're not playing around. Like, this is where you come to find great people, period, and a story. So everyone knows, like, oh, I'm open to, network with somebody else because they're vetted to be here as well. So you have a community of people that are willing to support you if you reach out to them in most circumstances. I mean, yeah, we all have our things. Like, let's say, I'm on a world tour. Obviously, I might not respond to you right away, but I'm the type of person that you'd want to network with through the Wellness Universe. So one of the benefits is you're going to be networking with already a pre-filtered, pre-selected group of people, rather than everybody just making contacts and connections like on LinkedIn, for instance, or on Facebook. This is already a pre-selected group. So it's awesome. And if you need to search for somebody else that you need help from, this is a great resource. That's one of the benefits.
It helps all categories. Like if you're a beginner speaker or you're an advanced trainer, so it helps everyone. So even a person that's a little timid and like, I don't know if I'm going to be good enough, you still tell them to come over, right, and get involved?
Absolutely. Yes. We have all levels. We have people that are just budding entrepreneurs in some way and have it's a hobby and it's a dream. And then we have people that are already established. And what our hope is that they work together. Our hope is that, they're able to connect and people are able to help and support and encourage each other.
Are you guys going to have like learning programs, or what stuff do you guys do right now? You said you had blogs and you have webinars. Tell me a little bit more about those things.
Go ahead, Anna, because we're just going to go ahead.
I'll let you go on with that. Do you want to take that one?
Okay, well, yes. So we have our blogs and we have our own webinar platform. So if you're a member, you absolutely we have our own, it's called the Lounge. And so it's our members who can have any webinar that they want. But what we do is that beyond them individually having their own webinars, we have Wellness Universe produced. So we provide for our members business training, whether, we had Orlia Moore, she came and, talked about publishing for all the people that are interested in publishing. We had Allison Kugel, who came and talked about like PR and marketing. So we try to provide resources and tools for our members so they can consistently grow. So, because that's what we want. We ultimately want to lead leaders to go out there and change the world. and to really, so we're providing the webinars for them. And as a member, there's benefits for being, in the webinars, whether it's discounted or whatever. Then again, each individual member can have their own webinar, and so they can make income. So, there's all different tools. There's the blogs, like Anna said. And then with our new platform coming out, there's going to be a bunch of new features that people will be, searchable, be searched easy and found just by our algorithms and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of great stuff happening.
Yeah, you get really excited when you talked about the new one coming out.
Yes, because when Anna approached me in 2013, it was for this vision, and again, I can't go from here and be Oprah, we've got to build. So it's always exciting to, now come and see this and then, next. So yes, I do get excited.
Oprah who? Sure.
Now I'm at the point where I'm like, no, I just want to be Shari Alyse.
That's right.
I don't want to be, but at that time,
So Anna, where do you see this going in the next, 5-10 years? Where do you envision this whole organization? And I'll ask Shari the same thing.
Honestly, Bert, we are creating the epic one-stop shop for all things wellness. So anybody who's changing the world, and we're talking about any resource that you would need in order to fulfill a better life for yourself. So whether you need a person, their product or service, that person has a microsite on the Wellness Universe. Whether you want to join a community or create a meetup or go to a live event that's done through the Wellness Universe or produced by the Wellness Universe, or members of the Wellness Universe are promoting their events through the Wellness Universe. Essentially, we're talking about a Facebook meets LinkedIn, meets Etsy, meets live events, all combined being the Wellness Universe. So we want it to be a one-stop shop where you can meet up with people if you have a project, so to speak, and you need funding and you need ground forces to go to another country, which you do speaking events in other countries all the time. Let's say you're a scientist and you come up with a cure for something, but you need now people to volunteer to go with you, to go and implement this thing somewhere, right? You post it on the Wellness Universe and you can get people to support your project, whether it be the funding or the ground forces, the people, whatever it is, or to meet up with the person in the other country in order to organize it. We're talking about a one-stop shop to better the world, literally.
I like what you're saying because, LinkedIn, for example, and Meetup, you still got to clean out the fat in order to find the right people that like what you're talking about, like what you're involved with, because there's so many people in all these platforms versus if I go to the Wellness Universe, I know that the people in there are the type of people I want to be talking to. They're the type of people that want to create a change in the world. They're the type of people that, they're into the self-help. So basically, if I throw something out there, it's going to stick a lot faster than throwing it out on the internet. Even though there's a lot more people on Facebook, it's still, you got to go through the cleaning process. And this it's a cleaning process. Like that's the way I'm envisioning it, what you guys are telling me right now.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that. So it's like our Achilles heel, but then it's also the amazing thing about it is that, when you're talking about from a business standpoint, we are limited in the fact that it's not Facebook and it's not going to be everybody. But what's the beautiful thing about it is that it is its own niche, and then people know what to expect when they go there. And how many sites are
Oh, she got so excited, she got kicked off.
Oh, you froze for a moment.
You froze. That's okay, but go ahead, keep telling us.
The energy. I'm like,
they tried to send to you. They tried to send you. They.
Totally. I'm like shaming them. I don't even know where you left off, but or where I left off and what you heard. But I think to be able to have this space where people know what to expect and they show up because they know they're going to feel good and they're going to walk away feeling better. Like that's what I foresee the Wellness Universe as, besides being the greatest resource for everything they need to improve their lives and the planet and animals' lives. I see it as the place where someone each morning wakes up and they're like, oh, I want to log into the Wellness Universe because that's going to make them feel good. And they're continuing their journey on there. And we have programs like planned and all this great stuff to help people along their journey in life. And I see the Wellness Universe being used by the government, by the way, like I see it everywhere.
You guys mentioned that you guys have live events too?
Go ahead, Ann.
Okay, we just did our very first one. It was a fusion event where we had speakers and we had practitioners raise funds for the Chester County Fund for Women and Girls. And we were very proud of this event because not only did it bring Wellness Universe members together, it was another proof of concept for us, showing that our members stepped up, and we had members from as far as Canada, Florida, Maine, Texas come in to support this event for a local organization who raised funds to empower women and girls. So that showed the proof of concept of who we are as Wellness Universe. Very inspirational people. That's hashtag WUVIP. That's what we go by. And now we're also being coined Woo World Changers. And so that live event enabled the community to come out and attend and experience life-changing practitioners in wellness and beauty and in fun to go out and just have a ball that day and experience life-changing speakers. So the women from the community essentially purchased a ticket, which went all to the charity. And then they got to experience all these different modalities of healing and wellness and just, you know, get introduced to something that maybe they didn't know. Like our friend Elizabeth Kipp was there, and she was doing EFT, the tapping, and she helped somebody clear a block for abundance. And that day, that woman won 3 things in our raffle.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it literally is shifting lives in real life. And what better proof than somebody doing something at a Wellness Universe event and somebody benefiting immediately, like immediately. It was astounding. We were so proud and we were so happy, and we want to bring this type of event around the world because it's so life-changing, really, for everyone involved.
Yeah, it's needed. It's needed. I mean, when's your next one going to be?
We're planning it.
I was waiting for Shari going, Anna, this is your question.
Well, actually, we've committed to our members that we're going to announce it in February because that day, people are like, when's the next one? When's the next one? Which for us, success. Success immediately, because our vision with the Wellness Universe right from the beginning has been live events, because we know the importance of technology. We know that people use the computer, like you're there. But what we want to do is gather people online and then bring them back out into the world, because we know real change happens in person.
That's right.
And so to be able to have our first live event and know that that's ultimately where we're going with the Wellness Universe, live events everywhere. Point is, next Diva Day, which was the name of this past event, will be announced in February. So
now I have another question, because before we come into the end of this interview, you know, you guys seem to have a perfect life. Everything just seems to work out for you guys. You know, so tell us how that works. You know, do you have challenges? I mean, it seems like a perfect world on the other side. I want to know about these things.
Go ahead, Anna.
I see that? I knew it. See, Shari did it again. Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, lots of wine. No, I'm only kidding. No, we don't have perfect lives. And I think that honestly, that's what gives us the strength that we need to move forward. Like you said before, you mentioned about Shari. When she comes through, and let me tell you something, Bert, you nailed it, because if Shari had not been doing videos and had a record for doing videos, and you can backlog her videos, and she's always been consistent being the same individual all the time, where somebody else who jumps on the inspiration. And now I'm seeing this also. People are jumping on the bandwagon, but they're doing like the negative and like the nerve.
The rant.
Like, oh, why motivational speakers don't work. Attend my webinar. You know what I mean? It's like they're doing this negative marketing strategy to try to get, like, people just are getting lost. So what I love is the fact that she is who she says she is, and always is revealing through whatever she's going through. But no, we don't have perfect lives. You know, it's not perfect by any means. We are trying to create a wellness-filled, whole, happy, joyous, abundant, life-filled prosperity for everyone around us. So this is what we focus on. We can't always control what happens. Like if we come out and there's a branch that just fell on our car, I mean, you know, things happen in life. So things are not perfect in my life. They're not perfect in Shari's life.
Oh, I know that. I just wanted the rest of the audience to understand, because a lot of times they hear us talk about it in an interview and like, man, their life is perfect. It's easy for them. Obviously, they have it all happening. No, it's not like that. You got to go out and make it happen. I know the truth. I just want them to understand this. That's why I threw it up. It was a little kind of sarcastic, because it's like, I know how it is. I've seen you guys behind the scenes, and the last speech that Shari and you did on the ship was great. I mean, I'm not going to give it up because it's such a great thing. I know that you guys will do it again, but it's powerful. And that's what helps people, is when you just come out of your heart, and let them know, look, yes, I'm rich, or yes, I'm doing pretty bad, because life is full of cycles, and if you don't learn your lesson, you're going to repeat it 3 or 4 times until you finally get it. Just hope you get it this lifetime.
Can I say this quickly? I just want to say, we're coming to the end, that one of the things that Anna and I are doing as the leaders of the Wellness Universe and running it is that we are so transparent with our members. Like, we sit the same way that I talk on video, we talk to them about that. And we say, like, hey, we don't have funding right now, or we are only doing this because we can only do this. And like, this didn't come through because of that, like, I think it's the only way to be in life is to share what you're truly going through, because that's how people actually end up feeling better and not feeling so alone in the world.
Well, it's not like they can relate. They can finally relate, and with this person's real.
Plenty of problems. It's just not about. It's about not living in them.
Yes. Thank you, Shari. It's about not living in them. We're not constantly out there putting out our dirty laundry. We're not constantly out there. As soon as something happens, we post on social media. Even when my dog had to be put to sleep, I didn't want like everybody coming and saying, oh, so sorry to hear. I didn't even post about it, because it's not that I didn't want people to know. It's just like, I didn't want people to come and comment on social media about something like that. It's just like, I have to deal with this part of my life, you know what I mean? And it is my life. And, years ago when we had the phone attached to the wall and there was no internet, unless I called you and told you about it or ran into you on the street, you wouldn't know. So I just think that that's really part of it. We have to create our own boundaries and focus more on the positive and not on the negative. So then we just invite more of that. But at the same time, we're real. You know what I mean? And there's a difference, like being sick or being caught up in your illness.
Yeah, and see, I would totally say online, like, my dog just died, because I would love the love. So, but I mean, but whatever you choose to do is totally your own thing, I'd probably go on video and talk about it. Like,
well, that's why you balance each other, because if that's why you're able to have that synergy, because if you were both the same, it wouldn't be the same. It needs to be different. And, that's like me. I put up a lot of videos, and we actually have our own reality show. We show the world,
I watch every episode.
What we want to share. We don't really share everything, because if you did, then, it's just, there has to be some sort of kind of things kept, for private. We do it too. People are like, oh, it's great. Yeah, well, you haven't seen the blooper reels.
I literally had to make my boyfriend watch this right now. I was like, you're not, like, so right before we even came on, I was like, you're not going to support me and watch this? Like,
I think he was watching this too, actually. Yeah.
But I mean,
they don't have a choice, don't they?
Right? No, but I mean, people see your pictures and they're like, oh, you have the perfect life and the perfect this. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I just had to tell my boyfriend, I hope you're going to watch me. Like, to come support. It's not perfection and everything,
No, you're going to make sure they watch the edited version. Because then it's all cleaned up and all. When every time you mention a hashtag or you mention the website, your website will be showing. I want him to watch it and then tell us what did he see different. Put some pressure on that. We want to know. But so yeah, this is great. I really, now I know more, and this is what this interview was all about. Eventually, I want to interview each one of you, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty. I want to know, what got you into this motivational world, what made you change. But there's so much in just in 1 hour we won't be able to get into it. But at least now I know about your organization, and I think that, and I really wanted the world to know more about the organization, because a lot of times you're so busy creating it that people don't see the vision. And this way, once it's edited, you'll be able to actually explain what the whole thing is about. And it's going to be a good, good video. It's good. It's a great interview. I thank you both. I mean, I really do.
Thank you.
If there's anyone that has any questions, please don't hold back. Raise your hand. Contact Valerie right now. Yeah, put your hands up. And that way we can go ahead and ask them either live or we have an anonymous question. Great. But if you don't have anonymous question, we would love to have 1 or 2 video questions. So if you're you're already here, push yourself a little bit harder and maybe put on some makeup. And if you don't want to show your face, you can just put audio on. Let us know. You just chat with Valerie right now, and then we'll go ahead and pop you guys in here. So what was the question? Anonymous. What drives you on a bad day? Someone wants to know that. Both of you. So Shari can tell me her reason, and Anna can tell me hers.
So who goes first?
What drives you on a bad day?
I think that I've naturally always been driven, but I think on my really hard days, I'm able to get through them because I know that they always change. It's like I used to live in hindsight and be like, oh, if I only would have known or paid attention. And it's like, now I understand that what I'm currently going through or whatever challenge I'm going through, that it's only going to make me better and greater. And I genuinely believe that. So that's how I get through my hard days, is that I know I'm going to become better because of it.
What about you, Anna?
A couple of things. First of all, to really be doing something that you love and to know that you can awaken to that and commit yourself to some sort of project or vision or dream. If you can commit to something, I think that will push you through a bad time, because I've committed myself and Shari, we've committed ourselves to the community. These are human beings. This is not just technology. This is not just a computer screen. I've committed myself and I've made a promise to everyone that we're going to take them to a better place through our project. So to wake up to that and know that I have a responsibility, answering to a responsibility gets me through a hard time. And also knowing that I could depend on good, solid people like Shari, like my husband, like my friends that I've known since I was 4 and 5 years old, knowing that I can call on someone and the phone will be answered, and having great relationships. Those are the things that get me through really bad times and really hard days and just circumstances. And those, I think, are the top 3 things that get me through, aside from daily prayer and daily gratitude rituals that I have, aside from your preventative things that you put into practice every single day. I go to my little shrine with my picture of my great grandma on there and my candles and my incense, and I say my prayer in the morning, and it feels so good, But I think besides those preventative things, you need to have a dream, you need to have a commitment, you need to be responsible to something that's bigger than you. And I think that when you have that, you focus on that when you're having a bad day and know that it's not just about you and about what's going on right now.
Wow, great answer. Oh, we have a live question. Someone's coming in live. This is great.
What's exciting?
Hey, Shari, you're hot. I knew I was going to get one of them. I had to get one of them.
When he used to do that, it would embarrass, I couldn't, because just the story behind it, in case anyone cares. Alexa's wife, everyone.
Alexa's wife?
Didn't I say your wife?
No.
Your wife, Alexa. So people were saying, you're on the ship, you're beautiful, Shari, you're so pretty, you're this, you're that, and whatever, thank you. And so she whispered in my ear, you're hot. And no one ever said you're hot, and I guess I didn't know how to take it. And so it just became this ongoing thing where.
And I caught it, so that was it. It was done. No matter what I would see her, even when there was 300 people or whatever, whoever was around, say, Shari, she'll look at me and go, you're hot. Well, hey, Diane, can you tell us where you're calling from and your name, please?
Hi, I'm Diana Curran, and I'm calling from Spencer, New York.
So go ahead, ask them your question.
I have a question for Anna and Shari and yourself, whoever would like to answer it. How often do you have people become confused between spirituality and God? Because I've encountered that a lot.
Well, I'll start off.
Religion, the religion side of it.
Yeah, no. I get it all the time. People are confused. To me, they think it's the same thing, and it's 2 different things. At least to me, it is. So I get it all the time. It's people haven't really caught on to it. I believe in God. I'm a Christian, but I know I work on my spiritual growth every day. And it's two different parts of the sector for me. So I don't know about Anna and Shari.
Well, for me, God is connected to my spirituality, but for me, spirituality is more like your belief system and your self-growth and how you feel inside, and what you do in a practice that makes you feel good and uplifted and closer to like your knowing, your being, right? And if it's like a religious thing and you're attaching the word God to a religious thing, to me, religion is like a set of something that you abide by. And God, to me, I use the word God interchangeably with the universe or source. I think it's just the creator. So for me, I understand what you're saying, and people do get confused. And like one of the examples that I'll always say is like when somebody says, "Oh, I don't do Reiki," or "I won't go get Reiki." I'm like, Reiki is not a religion. It's a practice of being healed through energy, which is, it's not religious. So there is a lot of confusion that I've encountered around spirituality and religion, or God, or using the word God or whatever. And in fact, one of our members, Charles, uses Gus, God, universe, source. He calls him the big Gus. So great question though.
Hi, Diana. So I went through this actually with my page and being a public figure. I had to go through this whole internal thing for myself, because I used God, and it turned a lot of people off who didn't believe in God or no longer trusted in God. And so I kept thinking, well, God, I don't want to lose my message and what I'm trying to say in that. And so I stopped using it for a while, God, and I would just say universe or source, or I would be, you, this greater, to then come back to, okay, well, this is my personal belief, and my belief is in God. And so I'm going to claim that, but I'm not asking you to. And for me, spirituality is about a connection. It's about a oneness with everything and everybody around you. And for me, God lives within me. And so I'm connected to God, I'm connected to you. So for me, spirituality and God is one and the same, and religion's completely different. Religion is how you find, for some people, that connection, or lead your life by that. So I don't know if that helped you at all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. All right, we have an anonymous question. Is how do you reject someone for the wellness?
Okay. I hate that word, reject.
Maybe someone that's not, I guess someone wants to know if they're not able to get involved with the wellness. Like what would not categorize them as being, besides being authentic and all that good stuff, I mean, something that would red flag them? That's probably the questions they're asking.
Well, I think the only thing, so we didn't finish like our standard. Our standards are basically that you have an online presence somewhere, because we can't, unless we know when we went into your mom and pop shop, we don't know what it is that you do. So if you don't have any sort of anything, we cannot look over and see what you do. So that's the way that you would be declined, not rejected. And then another thing is, if you don't, again, with the sharing, remember how I talked about that if you do not create your own stuff, or you present yourself with somebody else's and you don't give proper credit. We have a thing with credit because it is part of intellectual wellness, which is people's intellectual property. And so you take the time to create it. And if you're passing it off as your own, or someone can't go and find that original source, that's another reason why you would be declined if you're not doing proper netiquette. And then the other one is just basically if you don't fit into one of the areas of wellness, which honestly, they're so broad. If you're serving the world in some way, you'll be approved.
You see? So you don't get rejected, you get declined. But you will not know unless you go ahead and log in. So go log in and find out if you get declined.
And it's temporary. And it's a temporary decline, because you can change the way you do things at any point.
That's right. Well, we're coming. I'm going to wrap it up. And I want to thank you both so much. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I mean, my wife wanted to be involved, but she's getting ready for tomorrow. So definitely we're going to be able to interview each one of you. I'm setting you guys up. You guys are in for the interview, right? One-on-one?
Yeah. All right, Bert.
You see, I have to do it.
Got your back.
Let's put the pressure on right now.
Bert, pressure. Like, we obviously enjoy talking. This isn't an issue here.
But, we want to know more about, your personal life and how did you get involved and how do you stay involved? But we'll talk about that in our next session. Again, thank you so much. We'll go ahead. Let me pop up real quick a screen. TheWellnessUniverse.com. For anything that you want to do that has to do with self-help, please do contact them. It's important. I mean, this is an organization made for people that are like-minded. So this is a good way to contact you besides getting you on Facebook and social media, right?
Yes. Yes. Perfect.
Life is great. Life is wonderful. I want to wish you both a happy Thanksgiving.
You too. And
hello to your husband and your boyfriend.
Thank you.
Yeah, you better be watching.
Have a happy
the whole Make It Happen family, happy Thanksgiving as well.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. Well, love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. For everyone else, my name is Bert Oliva. And remember to live life and don't let life live you. I will see you next week.
Register online and join us today for all new live interviews and weekly topics only at themastermindcircle.com.